This is another number challenge problem with number 2023. Here we also try to find an integer solution for 1 over x plus 1 over y equals 5 over 2023. Now, of course, for this fraction here, what you want to do is to combine two fractions. Let's do that. So what we get is this, and then you use cross product, turn that into an equation. Let's do that. And here you probably want to factor that, right? This is a very common pattern where you have xy and you have some x plus some y. In this case, the coefficient of x and y is the same, 2023. But in general, you may have some xy and then ax and by, okay? But here a, b coefficient are the same, okay? So you want to move everything to one side of the equation and try to factor it. Of course, it may not be easy to factor because here you have 5, you want to split it into 1 and 5, but here you only have 2023, x and y are equal. So you know that when you try to do the cross product here, you would have the same number here in 2023. So the trick here is multiply this equation by 5 so that you have 5 times 5 and then 5 times this one. So this one is easier to factor, that is 5x and 5y. And here you have 2023, so that the cross term is going to be 5 times 2023, right? And there's extra term that is 2023 squared. So you move to the right. All right. So let's examine this equation here. I have integer, two integer product equal this integer square. And of course, you already know the prime factorization for 2023, right? Let's write it out. Now let's do some analysis here. Let's do some mod 5 analysis, right? So here you want to have some integer here. This is going to be multiple 5. 2023 is 3 mod 5. You minus that, that will become 2 mod 5, right? The remainder is 2. So this is an integer. When dividing by 5, the remainder is going to be 2. The second term, same thing, right? Is also remainder 2 mod 5. Now you want to split the right hand side into two integers such that each individual one is 2 mod 5. How to do that? Let's try to factor the right hand side, right? You want to split that into an integer m times n, yeah? But what is 17 here, right? So 7 itself is 2 mod 5 and 17 is also 2 mod 5, right? So we need to see how to split these factors into two numbers, right? This total we have 6 integers, right? We want to split into two groups. Let's do further analysis on the mod 5. For a number 2 mod 5, if you square it, right? If a is a number 2 mod 5, that is divided by 5, the remainder is 2, then when you square it, it becomes 4 mod 5. If it's cubed further, it's going to be 3 mod 5 and then 1, and then if you do the fifth power, it's 2 mod 5 again. So remember, our goal is to find two integers that is 2 mod 5. Yeah. So here we know that either this number itself or the number raised to the fifth power or 5 such number together, right? So what we can do is to go back to the equation, look at how do we split this 2023 here, right? This recap, what do we have? And the right hand side is actually the product of 6 numbers, all right? So it looks like what we can do in order to have two m and n, two number, both 2 mod 5. Earlier we know that either a single number or 5 number multiplication, right? So here we know that we want to split the numbers into either one because each individual one is 2 mod 5, right? So you want to split such that is 1 versus 6, right? So let's consider x is smaller because this is symmetrical here. Assume x is smaller. So in this case, we can choose either a single number 7 or 17 for the first term, right? First term is a smaller term. This term is a bigger term. Let's assume that. So that's give us two solutions, right? If x in the first case, that's 406. In the second case, that's 408. And corresponding y, if you plug in, you can calculate this, right? So that is, if x is smaller than y, you will have two equations. But in the general solution here, x, y are symmetrical. You can exchange x and y. So total would have 4 solutions, right? So here, let's recap. So what we do here is either x is 406 or 408, or just swap x and y. So total 4 solutions to this Diophantine equation here. And the trick here is, again, know how to factor and how to do mod 5 analysis. Okay, I think this is an interesting problem. Hope you enjoyed the solution here, and please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.